There is a version of you that you have not encountered yet. A version so controlled, so deliberate, and so consistently focused that if you met him today, you would not recognize him. You would feel uneasy around him. Most people believe discipline means waking up early, eating well, or working hard. That belief is incomplete. True discipline is not a routine. It is a direct confrontation with your own weakness. It is the capacity to face your emotions, your exhaustion, and your excuses, and put them aside without negotiation. Machiavelli understood this. He did not write for the virtuous. He wrote for thinkers and tacticians. He knew that to maintain power in a disorderly world, softness is a liability. Predictability is a flaw. You must become something elemental. When discipline becomes real, people do not only respect you. They become uncomfortable around you. They sense a change. They see someone who can no longer be influenced or controlled. Someone who has stopped bargaining with himself. And that unsettles them. Because a man who cannot be defeated by his own thoughts cannot be defeated by external pressure. You are here because you are tired. Not physically exhausted, but internally worn down. You are drained by your lack of consistency. You are frustrated with the promises you make to yourself and break before the day is half over. You watch others progress while you remain stuck in the same cycle of motivation followed by failure. You want to know how to escape it. You want to know how to build a resilient, unbreakable mind. That is what this is about. But understand this clearly, this is not self-help. This is self-elimination. We are going to dismantle the weak, dependent, emotionally reactive part of you so that the leader can take its place. We will apply the uncompromising philosophy of Niccolò Machiavelli to everyday life. By the end of this video, you will understand why the need to be liked is a vulnerability, and why being respected, and even feared, through discipline leads to real freedom. But you must pay attention. The secret is not what you add to your life. It is what you are prepared to remove. Most men live as servants. Servants to impulse. Servants to their phones. Servants to the opinions of people they do not even respect. The moment you choose this path, you stop serving. You become independent. You become sovereign. But sovereignty carries a cost. The question is whether you are willing to accept it. Phase 1. The discipline of silence. Machiavelli famously observed, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience who you really are." The average man reveals everything. He announces his plans. He posts his routines. He declares a transformation online before completing even a single day of real effort. He looks for approval for work he has not yet done. This is why he fails. He releases pressure before the process begins. You must do the opposite. You must disappear. Real discipline requires silence. It requires operating without visibility. When you constantly speak about your goals, you are asking permission. You are seeking confirmation that it is acceptable for you to change. Stop doing that. The most dangerous person in any room is the one who observes, listens, and says nothing. Silence creates uncertainty. It unsettles people. They project their doubts onto you. They wonder what you are doing and why you no longer seek their attention. Silence becomes protection. It shields your intent. When you work privately, you are free to fail without an audience. You adjust without criticism. You develop strength without interference from other people's skepticism. Imagine stepping away for 6 months. No announcements. No explanations. Just work, training, building, thinking. You remove distractions. You eliminate cheap dopamine. You distance yourself from people who only value you when you are distracted alongside them. Then you return. But you do not return the same. You come back sharper, stronger, more grounded. Your presence changes. You do not need to explain the difference. Others feel it. They see it in how you stand. They notice it in how little you speak. This is the discipline of invisibility. It unsettles people because it reflects their own lack of focus. It reminds them that while they were chasing attention, you were accumulating capability. Begin now. Stop justifying yourself. Justification is the language of weakness. Those with power do not explain their actions. They carry them out. If you are tired, be quiet and continue. If you are hurt, be quiet and recover. If you are succeeding, be quiet and sustain it. Results communicate more clearly than words ever will. Comment below if you are ready to step into silence. I build without noise. Phase 2. Emotional alchemy. There is a common belief that disciplined individuals are emotionless, that they do not experience pain, boredom, or sadness. That is a misconception. A disciplined person feels everything. They feel the urge to sleep in. They feel the sting of rejection. They feel the desire to quit. The difference is they don't let it control them. Machiavelli argued that a leader should not be ruled by emotion, but should instead use it strategically. He said, "Men are driven by two principal impulses, either by love or by fear." You must apply this to yourself. You cannot rely on loving the grind. You will not enjoy waking up at 4 a.m., you will hate it. You cannot rely on passion. Passion is unreliable. A single gust of wind can extinguish it. What you need is something colder, something steadier, duty. Discipline is the skill of acting contrary to how you feel. It is emotional alchemy. You take the weight of I don't want to and transform it into the strength of I did it anyway. When you stop consulting your feelings before taking action, you become unpredictable and powerful. Consider this. If your opponent knows you only act when motivated, all they need to do is wait until you are tired or discouraged, then you are vulnerable. But if you are someone who works harder when miserable, trains harder when heartbroken, or focuses deeper when angry, you become unstoppable. You become immune to circumstances. This unnerves people. They see you and think, why isn't he breaking? He should have collapsed by now. They don't understand that you have separated your actions from your emotions. You treat feelings like the weather. You notice the storm, acknowledge it, but you don't cancel your mission because of rain. You put on a coat and continue. This is the Machiavellian approach to self-mastery. You are the prince, and your emotions are unruly subjects. You listen, but you do not let them rule. If they rebel, you control them. Start with the seconds rule. When your alarm goes off, you have 3 seconds to move. Overthinking will convince you to stay in bed. Your brain is built for comfort, not greatness. It is a survival mechanism, not a success mechanism. Bypass negotiation. 1, 2, 3. Move. Do not think. Thinking delays execution. In moments of weakness, act immediately. Train your body to obey. Over time, you rewire your mind. You stop being someone who tries to be disciplined. You become a machine that functions regardless of feelings. This is how you become untouchable. When your internal state no longer dictates your output, you are free. Phase 3. The weaponization of isolation. Machiavelli understood that rulers often must stand alone. A wise prince should rely on what is in his control, not on what is in the control of others. Examine your circle. Who are the 5 people you spend the most time with? Are they pushing you forward, or are they keeping you comfortable? Most people fear being alone. They fill silence with podcasts, music, texts, scrolling, anything to avoid their own thoughts. But in isolation, you face the truth. You are wasting your potential. To become exceptionally disciplined, you must embrace solitude. You must be willing to step away from anyone who does not serve your mission. This is ruthless, but necessary. When you rise, people may try to hold you back, not out of malice, but because your growth exposes their stagnation. You are a mirror. When you get fit, your unfit friend feels judged. When you build a business, a lazy friend feels threatened. They will say, "You've changed. You're obsessed. You're no fun anymore." But fun is a distraction. You are here for mastery, not comfort. You must accept being the villain in others' stories. Let them call you cold, distant, or arrogant. You are not superior. You just maintain higher standards and refuse to lower them for others. Isolation is the laboratory of greatness. In solitude, you discover who you really are, free from external noise. You hear your own voice, clarify your vision, and refine your purpose. Schedule time for total withdrawal, monk mode, deep work, whatever you prefer. Lock the door, turn off distractions, and face the work. In that space, you will encounter fear, boredom, and anxiety. You will confront them. And when you emerge, you will carry a confidence that cannot be faked. People sense this. They recognize a man who does not need them. Ironically, that independence is exactly what draws people to follow him. A man comfortable being alone attracts others because he isn't seeking anything from them. He is complete. Phase 4. The fear of unpredictability. Machiavelli advised that a leader should never be entirely predictable. It is safer to be feared than loved. Love relies on obligation, which is broken whenever convenient. Fear, however, is maintained by the dread of punishment, which rarely fails. How does this relate to discipline? Undisciplined people are predictable. People know you will quit. They know you will complain. They know that under enough pressure, you will break. Your weaknesses are exposed, making manipulation easy. Discipline makes you unpredictable. You stop reacting automatically. Someone insults you, you don't respond in anger. You pause, observe, and continue working. A crisis occurs, you don't panic. You analyze. You lose resources, you rebuild. This absence of reaction unsettles manipulative people. They depend on emotional volatility to control you. When you remove the triggers, they lose power. Your consistency becomes your weapon. Imagine a man who shows up every day, quietly executing his work year after year. He doesn't complain, he doesn't boast. He cannot be stopped, distracted, or discouraged. That man is inevitable, and inevitable is frightening. This is not aggression. It is implacability. Like a glacier, slow, silent, yet crushing everything in its path. To achieve this, you must silence the part of yourself that seeks sympathy. Stop sharing your problems. Stop broadcasting bad days. Stop looking for approval. Seeking sympathy exposes vulnerability. Machiavelli would say, hide your wounds, not out of shame, but to deny your enemy's satisfaction. Stand tall. Maintain a composed expression. Move with purpose. Even if your world is collapsing, never show it. This isn't pretending, it is framing reality. You are signaling control, and eventually, the world will follow. Phase 5. The standard of the absolute. Why do people fail? Because their standards are too low. They accept good enough and almost. You must raise the baseline. Machiavelli studied great empires, Rome, Sparta. They did not fall to enemies alone. They decayed internally. They lost discipline. Luxury made them soft. We live in the most comfortable era in history. Heating, delivery, entertainment, drugs, sugar, endless distractions, all designed to sedate and weaken. Discipline today is rebellion. Declare war on comfort. Set standards that seem unreasonable. Wake up early. Verify every detail. Refuse what weakens you, not to show off, but because you refuse to accept mediocrity. Holding yourself to higher standards exposes the laziness of others. They resent you because your existence highlights their excuses. If you can achieve it, why can't they? They will label you obsessed or crazy. Let them. The Machiavellian man does not seek understanding from fools. He either elevates the world to meet him or leaves it behind. Be ruthless with your time. It is finite and irrecoverable. Every second spent arguing with ignorance, scrolling, or worrying is stolen from your future empire. Protect your time like a dragon guards gold. Be rare, direct, and deliberate. Discipline creates scarcity, and scarcity creates value. When execution becomes mechanical, you rise above competition. Most operate at average levels. At the top, the air is thin, the silence distinct, and the view unmatched. Phase 6. The death of the old self. This is the hardest phase. You must bury the person you were. The version who needed approval. The version who apologized for ambition. Look at your past, mistakes, trauma, failures, and close the door. Machiavelli said, war cannot be avoided, only postponed. You are at war with your former self. If you do not kill your old self, he will destroy your future. He will tempt you back into old habits. Just one break, one drink, one skip. Be ruthless. Shedding the skin is painful, leaving you exposed, but it is necessary for growth. You may lose friends, partners, or understanding from family. This is the cost of greatness. Do not complain, pay it. On the other side is rebirth. Leaner, faster, sharper. A self ruled by logic, not emotion. A mind that sees the world as a chessboard, not a playground. This new self is intimidating. Power is always frightening, but this is power over yourself, not tyranny over others. Walk into a room with complete control, and people notice. They yield instinctively. You carry the look of a man who has faced the abyss and conquered his mind. There is no greater victory. As the Stoics understood, and as Machiavelli understood, the person who masters himself is greater than the one who conquers a city. So what changes when you commit to this? When you truly embrace discipline, the noise fades. The anxiety that has lingered in the background of your life for years goes silent. Because anxiety arises from knowing you are unprepared. It comes from deceiving yourself. When you are disciplined, you have nothing to hide. You understand who you are. You understand what you are capable of. You stop fearing the future because you are actively shaping it. You stop fearing others because you know no one can outwork you. You stop fearing failure because failure becomes nothing more than data for your next attempt. You become free. But this freedom is not easy. It is stark. It is solitary. It is the freedom of the wolf on the hill, looking down at the sheep in the pen. They are warm, safe, and fed, but they are trapped. You are out in the cold, hungry, but free. This is the choice before you today, the comfort of the herd or the power of the hunt. You cannot have both. Machiavelli wrote his philosophy in exile. He was stripped of status, tortured, and cast out. In that darkness, he created ideas that would change the world. He didn't need applause, he sought truth. Your discipline is your truth. It is the one thing that is entirely yours. They can take your money, your job, your reputation, but they cannot take your discipline. They cannot take your ability to endure. That is your fortress. That is your throne. Listen carefully. The world is growing softer, louder, and more chaotic. This is your advantage. While others weaken, you strengthen. While they are distracted, you focus. While they seek comfort, you pursue the edge. You will unsettle them, not because you try to, but because you reflect everything they are too afraid to become. Let them stare. Let them whisper. Let them fear. Your work is ahead. The path is cold. The climb is steep. And you must walk it alone. But now you are ready. If you have made it this far, you are among the 0.01%. You are the outlier. Prove it. Comment below, I choose the cold path. If you want to dive deeper into the psychology of power, if you want tools they never teach in school, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. We are just beginning. The old you is gone. Now go and build the new one.